Hi there, my name is Steve, this is TQA Weekly, and I decided to do an experiment in which I actually wanted to know if it was easy or hard to clean all of my social media from the following platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, MailChimp, and Pinterest. I will provide links to all the services and software extensions and other videos down below in the description of this video or on the website at tqaweekly.com/se10ep16. And of course, the rating works as follows. Everything gets an A rating unless it throws random errors that prevent automated tasks from functioning, requires time-consuming manual labor, incurs a cost, doesn't have all posts, likes, shares, and comments in the same place or section, or ends up with an sustained unresolvable error, which did happen. The reason I am doing this episode is because it's part of an experiment, and this experiment actually has some benefits for every single one of you. Some of these benefits are, by the way, helping some of you mitigate psychological issues. You see, having a whole bunch of dead links and events you have long forgotten or that are just hurtful to you is bad for your own psychological health. It can actually help you get hired by cleansing your past of all the stupidities that you have posted. It can get rid of any stupid, nefarious comments or speech that no longer reflect you. And of course, since most of you are not even remotely famous, or at least not yet, the majority of you will not have a problem with anybody having backed up any of this information. You get to have a clean start. You're welcome. Because this started off with my Twitter profiles, and because I was using an API in the wrong place and I wanted to actually clean everything and allow myself to have focused streams on the internet, we will begin with Twitter. Twitter, like every other service, provides you an API. An API allows you to connect directly to the service through the use of software and code that you can program yourself or use tools from others. The Twitter API allows you to access the last 3,200 tweets with some caveats. It depends on the age and some other factors. And you can delete the last 3,200 tweets. You cannot, however, restart the process and delete the next 3,200. That would require you to manually delete the rest or use the premium service from a place like TweetDelete, which only cost me $10 for a premium lifetime of the website account. All I had to do was go into my Twitter account, download the data, and then of course, upload the tweet.js file to which they deleted everything. In fact, it took longer to get the Twitter data than to do the entire process. Because I had to pay to get this all done, otherwise I would have had to use manual labor, I gave it a B rating. It's still possible to delete everything. There's nothing really hampering you except maybe some security measure inside of Twitter within the API. My Pinterest account, which I will be honest, I've ignored it for a really long time, was simple. I only needed to select all my boards and delete, and then select everything else and delete. They didn't hamper anything, and it took me less than 5 minutes. Therefore, it gets an A rating, because they don't intentionally hamper your ability to delete everything, which is great. Instagram can be done manually. However, for posts, which in my case I did manually, I archived. But if you want to delete everything, in the description down below or on the website as I named, there is a video to a creator who demonstrates how to do it with an iOS app and an Android app. In my case, I use Unsaver for Instagram, which is an extension for Google Chrome that allowed me to delete all of my saved photos, which are the photos that other people have that you save into collections for yourself. It took less than 30 seconds and it allowed for a select all and delete, because Instagram does not go through the process of trying to hamper other programs from going in and just deleting everything. I can give Instagram an A rating just like Pinterest. Sure, it's a little bit more work, but because they're extensions and they are free and it is fairly fast, you get a better rating. Now, MailChimp, which is not really social media, is still kind of social media. Here's my argument. I send a newsletter every single week. People can reply to the newsletter and have a conversation. Therefore, social media. Why did I delete my newsletter archive? Because this is where my newsletter archive was. My newsletters contain the following: YouTube video, show notes, links to resources and sources. So do my show notes pages, which also include download links for the videos themselves. So I actually felt like there was no point keeping an archive anymore and went through the entire process of deleting everything. You can select all and delete, but it is time consuming. They have a security function where you have to type delete. That makes it slow, and I can understand, and I'm not removing any points for that specific part. However, since I still have to go back in the right folder and then select all and delete in that particular effect, I have to give them a B rating, because while they make no attempt beyond security to block you from deleting everything, they still don't keep you in the same folder every time you delete. It kicks you out of the folder. Now, this is where the shit hits the fan, okay? Facebook is the absolute most annoying experience in social media cleansing when it comes to personal profiles or pages. A little more and I would have needed psychological aid for this. Let's start off the pages, since that was the least of the two evils. You see, from the Facebook page, if you are the owner of the Facebook page, you can click on publishing tools. This allows you to have the option to select all and delete. First problem is that if there's any profile picture or banner in the page, it will prevent the process from working, so you have to unselect those. So I would actually suggest that you go into the pictures section of the page, delete all the old profile pictures and banners so that you only have the most recent one, and then go into publishing tools, select all, and delete. Then, because it is glitchy at best and useless at worst, sometimes you even have to redo it to get it to work, you might want to go to the second page, select all and delete, until you successfully and eventually delete everything from all but the first page, then select everything but the profile picture and the banner so that you have a clean page. And you will have a clean page. There's just a problem. Of all the 6 pages I tried this on, my zaxis.net page has publishing tools basically inoperative now. The only rating I can provide Facebook pages is a D rating because of glitchy behavior in the code, a permanent glitch, and the time-consuming manual labor. So it goes from A to B, B to C, then to D. Oh well. That was the good news. Here's the bad news. Facebook profile. It gets even worse. I mean, it's mind-blowing how everything is scattered. To completely cleanse a 12-year-old profile, which has been cleansed in the past, I had to go and download a browser extension called Social Book Post Manager, which is an amazing tool, and I have nothing to say against it because nothing that happened has anything to do with the extension. I have to go to the activity log, which Social Book Post Manager does by itself, and then go through all the sequences to delete my likes, my comments, my posts, and all that, and hide the rest because you can't delete everything on top of that. And it takes a really long time. In fact, it even suggests in that extension, rightfully so, that you might want to select a slower speed because Facebook doesn't always allow it to delete everything. It throws errors, like sticks through the wheels of bikes for no reason. Come on. If I'm going to try to delete something and it doesn't exist, don't give me an error. Just make it disappear anyway, the entry. There shouldn't be an entry for something that doesn't exist at all. Now, I did that for weeks. Weeks. I am not kidding you. Before it was actually short enough for me to scroll. Then, apparently I wasn't done. I had to go to my Facebook profile. From the base Facebook profile, click Manage Posts, select all, then try to delete or archive. Here's the next glitch. If you have 50 things selected and only one can't be deleted, it still won't allow you to click delete. It will only allow you to click archive. And because of that, you have a lot of manual labor. Even if you hide everything, archive everything, you still have a lot of manual labor to go and delete it after. And of everything else, there is still that artificial limit of 50. And on top of all that, nothing is exactly in the same place. And because of that, it is not user-friendly. It is not logical whatsoever. And you would think that they would have a more refined, user-friendly method of cleaning. So is that too much to ask, Facebook? The quickest way to delete all the data is to close the account. Do you want to know why? Because in the time that it took me to do this experiment on Facebook, it would have been done already if I had deleted the account. And because of that, Facebook gets an F rating because it basically fails due to its incompetence and lack of vision. And it is just completely annoying how many glitches and errors that go on when you're trying to do anything on your Facebook profile over and over again. Which leads me to my last social media platform, where I get a lot of the memes. I get to talk to a lot of people and get into a lot of debates. I like to debate, and I'll use, information from places like Google Scholar and the sources of Wikipedia and all that. Not Wikipedia articles necessarily, the actual sources themselves. So I'll actually know quite a bit of what I'm talking about. But we're not going to talk about whatsoever that. So I had two issues that I wanted to deal with there. Not my up and down votes, okay? My saved posts, which aren't mine, and my comments and my posts. Now, I don't post that much, so I was able to just delete manually that part. My comments and my saved posts are where I needed the most work. For my saved posts, I used the extension called Tampermonkey, which I'll be demonstrating next week, and with one line of JavaScript code was able to completely delete everything within a minute. Within a minute, which is really, really fast. That means I actually have to go and save a bunch of posts just to demonstrate that next week. Because it took like less than a minute, I have nothing to say about that. Now, I went to go and delete my comments. Now, comments are harder to do on Reddit. In fact, it's so hard to get rid of comments that the entire Reddit community, or at least a great vocal few, have asked Reddit for a select all option, which they've never gotten. However, we get the browser extension called Nuke Reddit History. And this is how it works. And you'll understand why it takes a long time for it to work. It basically overwrites the original comments before deleting, because this is how Reddit works. Even if you delete the comment, they have saved it in their server. So by overwriting the comment, it changes what's saved in the server and then deletes it, which is actually good. They make no active attempt to stop you from deleting all your saved posts and, of course, all of your comments and your actual posts themselves. Because of this, I'm actually able to give Reddit a B rating, because it is a lot of work to get anything done in there, but it's not impossible. And I'm giving them a B rating because usually Reddit listens to their user base, and their user base is asking for an option and they're not getting it. So Reddit gets a B rating. And on top of all that, you get to learn how to do what I did next week with Tampermonkey. Now, Tampermonkey is an extension that's absolutely free, and I used it for Reddit. But by the time I'm done my demonstration next week, you probably will realize that you can use it for any website you want to do any automated task. So everything that I used will be down below in the description, or go to tqaweekly.com/se10ep16, and you now understand why some of my rating works in the way that it does, and basically what I've been doing for a while. So like if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those you think can benefit from this, because there is a lot of people that can, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to be part of our private monthly live streams, just click join for details. Now, if you want to ask me questions, comments, have suggestions for other experiments and topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com, or go to my website, tqaweekly.com, where you can find the show notes for this episode, past others, other ways of subscribing, including the newsletter, and of course use the contact form to email me directly. And if you want to watch me on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/ZEDAXIS1981, same as this YouTube channel, and I stream on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, midnight Eastern Time, where I'm going to be replaying The Witcher 3. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.